Jacqui. Whoa, where are you? This is where the magic happens, guys. This is my Reiki room. I'm switching it up today. It snowed last night, and my husband plows, so he got the fun job of working overnight, so he is sleeping in the room where I normally talk in the morning. So here we are in Reiki room. Welcome to the magic. My intention is to start doing these down here, and I think I just need to find my space, so here it is. Christy, my husband, plows too. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a different life. But feel free to say hello, guys. Let's see who's here today. Let's see who's joining. My name is Jacqui Mancuso, if you're not familiar with me. I'm joining you from northern Illinois, where we hopped back into winter yesterday. I thought it was spring, but we hopped back into winter. Let's see where you guys are joining from. And the chat is going to work beautifully today. The chat is cooperating with us. Insight Timer is cooperating with us today. I love it. Hello, Jacqui. Hello, Catherine. Christy, happy Saturn in Pisces. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to talk about that. Jacqui has been here. Jacqui has seen this in person. She has sat in that chair right there. Good morning, Sarah. Happy Friday, Karen. Hi, Kaz. Christine, yes, I'm in a new room. Sarah, jealous of your snow here in Southwest Florida? I'm jealous of your warmth. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? Isn't that so interesting? Hello, Anne. Christine, I love your Reiki room. Thank you, me too. It's a work in progress. It's good. I love all the life in here. I purposely have a lot of plants. Lydia, my big Dieffenbachia, she used to be behind me upstairs. I don't know if you guys remember her, but I think she's like doubled in size since I've had her on Insight Timer. Good morning, Tara. Hello, Helen. Teresa from Buffalo. I think you guys have some snow up there too. And my audio is working flawlessly. Yes, it is, Carmina. Diane, I'm in Iowa. I hear you. Beautiful snowfall yesterday. It was pretty. It's really nice to look at. I'm just ready to stand outside in a tank top. You know, that's just what brings me joy. Karen, beautiful room. Thank you. Carmen, good morning and happy Friday. Love all the plants. Thank you, Sharon. Sharon is sending warm weather from Puerto Rico. 79 degrees. It's on the horizon. It's coming. Happy Friday. I love that, AJ. Well, if you guys joined late, I'll just say it again. I'm here in my Reiki room. This is where magic happens. This is where I take all my client work. I started doing Insight Timer before I had this space all set up. So I normally go live upstairs in my bedroom. That's where all my essential oils live. And yeah, my husband's sleeping today because he worked overnight plowing. So I'm here today. Christine says, I'm jealous of your snow too. I love it, but we have not had any since December and only a trace. I'll switch spots. I'll switch spots with you, Christine. So today, why are we here? Today was one of those days where I knew I wanted to come on Insight Timer. I didn't have any specific aspects in the sky to talk about. So I was playing around with what I could do, and then I looked ahead, and we have, 5 planets that are shifting signs over the next week and a half. Well, really 2 weeks because it doesn't start until next week, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of upcoming change. So I will be like reiterating these things when the time is closer, when I do my normal astrology updates. But today I just wanted to lay out, this is everything that's coming. So I don't really know how long I'm going to talk about this, but then we are going to pull some cards just to ask how to use all of this energy. So without further ado, I actually have like written out notes today. I have paper notes. It's the 90s again, and I'm okay with that. Carmen, I will be sure to give you some of the snow expected today in Toronto. There you go. There you go, Christine. All right, so when March started, we've already had 2 planets that change signs. And we're going to have 5 more. So right as March started, Mercury, the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication, he moved out of his familiar air sign of Aquarius into Pisces. So if you have been noticing, what's today, the 10th, for the last week or so, if you've been noticing that your thoughts are more like, woo, Pisces, dreamy, like you can't really ground any of your thoughts, thank you, Mercury in Pisces. He will be there for another 9 days, and we'll talk about that. So just embrace this, like, allow yourself to dream. Just understand that it's not really time to make those concrete plans. It's not really time to, like, dwell in your mind and circle around and overthink. No, right now is the time to, like, wonder and dream and bring the artistic poetry into your thoughts, okay? Saturn also moved into Pisces. So this happened 3 days ago on the 7th. Saturn was in Aquarius since 2020, so about 2.5 years. That's his normal transit through signs. It takes about 2.5 years per sign, and Saturn is in Pisces. The last time that Saturn was in Pisces was from 94 to 96. So if you can remember what those years were like for you in regards to how you limited yourself, where you set your boundaries, what your discipline style looked like, maybe how your perception of time may have been different through those years. I was a child when that happened. I was 3 to 5 years old when Saturn was in Pisces, so I don't remember, obviously, but Saturn in Pisces can kind of like disrupt our sense of time. Saturn is Capricorn energy. Saturn is Father Time. He wants that structure. But Pisces, man, like, no, let's go to a Fish concert, you know, like, let's go dance. It's all right. Let your hair flow, like, you know, put on your hippie clothes. Like, that's the energy of Saturn in Pisces. So he's going to be here for 2.5 years. And what I can feel with Saturn in Pisces, and this example comes from Molly McCord. I have to just borrow it from her because it was hilarious the way that she put it. So let's think of Pisces energy. Let's imagine Pisces energy as a nightclub, and the music's bumping, and the lights are going, and it's flashing pink, purple, green, blue, pink, purple, and everyone's just like flowing with the music. And then here walks in Father Saturn. The first thing he does is he turns on the lights, he brings order to the party, and he says, we're done, you guys are going home now. So in that situation, right, if you're a person at that party, it's your decision. Are you going to throw up your middle finger to Saturn and say, like, nope, I'm partying, I'm here. You can try to rein me in, but, you know. Or are you going to be the obedient rule follower who says, okay, Saturn, I'm going to give up my fun now and go home? So everything in astrology always has a choice, but I can see Saturn in Pisces bringing some structure, Saturn, to our spiritual practice, Pisces. And I have a great relationship with Saturn. I really embrace Saturn energy and what it can bring to our lives if we don't look at it as a bad thing. And I don't see anything wrong with putting some structure in your spiritual practice. If that means just getting firm on doing something every day, you know, you don't need to commit to 15 minutes every day of meditation. Just something, you know, today I'm going to take time. Today I'm going to do one thing for myself. If I get more done, awesome, you know. Bonnie, oh wow, my twins, my husband, and you are all having Saturn returns. Wow, that's going to be a very monumental couple of years for you guys. Your first Saturn return, so your twins, it's a time of Saturn coming around and saying, have you been doing your work in this area? So whatever house that their Saturn is in, have you been learning these lessons that I've been trying to teach you in this area? If you have been, cool, here's a blessing, enjoy the next 28 years. If you haven't, sorry, here's another roadblock for you. Figure it out. And then you and your husband going through your second Saturn return, that, obviously I'm not very familiar with it because I haven't experienced it, but my understanding of your second Saturn return is that you are then placed into a situation where you mentor, maybe you're, oh my gosh, Bonnie, I just had this visualization that like you're a mentor for one twin and your husband's a mentor for another twin, but you mentor someone who is going through a similar situation. Wow, yeah, that split just seemed so clear to me, so interesting. All right, so that's everything that has already shifted. Let's go into what's coming up. So the 16th, on March 16th, Venus love, walking into Taurus, practical stability, groundedness. Venus has been in Aries and is still in Aries, okay? So everything I'm talking about now is coming up. Venus is in Aries and has been there since mid-February. So Venus, love, in Aries has felt independent, wanting her freedom. So if you've been noticing yourself maybe pulling away from people, that's Venus in Aries energy. So she's shifting into Taurus, into the sign of the nurturer. Taurus is the cow that grazes in the grass all day. It's all about your basic needs, your comforts. So our love is going to this more basic place. Like if you just touch my hair today, I'm gonna melt and everything is good. And I don't need the flowers, I don't need the big gestures. Like just do the most basic thing and I'll feel good. Venus also rules money, and Taurus rules the second house of money. So Venus in Taurus could bring us some financial abundance, some financial opportunities, a new way to work with your money, to work with your skills. Taurus also rules our skills, what we value. Venus in Taurus is a very comfortable placement because Venus rules Taurus, so she loves being there. So that's coming up on the 16th. Let's see. Hello, Kay. This is my Reiki room. Bonnie says, the Gemini twin you say in my chart but didn't finish the thought. It's Michael and I mentoring fluidly back and forth between the twins. I like that. Jacqui is doing readings on Patreon. I mean, kind of like readings. I'm doing embodied astrology. The Gemini twin you say in my chart but didn't finish the thought. I don't know what you mean, Bonnie. Maybe retype that. But I like that, yeah. Passing off the twins to each other. I'll take this one for now. You got that one. All right. I love it. All right, so then Venus is going to move into Taurus. So that like lightens the energy. Like Venus in Aries feels like, no, I'm going to do it myself. I don't need any help, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But like it's going to be a settling energy. On the contrary, that's the 16th. Okay, yes, Venus into Taurus. On the 19th, Mercury moves from Pisces, where we are, right? Like thinking, dreamy, letting your thoughts flow. On the 19th, he moves into Aries. This is go time. Like this is, Mercury in Aries is my natal placement, so I love when Mercury is in Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Cardinal fire. I have an eyelash in my eye. Very fast, rapid communication, thoughts appearing out of nowhere, very much like catalyst ideas can come when Mercury is in Aries. A very good time to have that spark of energy, like, oh, it might take a lot of effort to do this, but I know that that's what I want to do. Communication can be very rapid with Mercury in Aries, so this is a good time to just get all the information out there and communicate with people. Okay, are we already feeling the energies of it? Is it like the retrograde shadow effect? Not necessarily. I mean, you can, depending on how this is playing in your chart, but my intention for today's description is just to give you guys an update of what's coming, because from the 16th to the 25th, rapid fire. We have 5 planets, boom, 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 that are all shifting signs. So this is just like a preface for what's to come, and then I will re-describe when the time comes. So Mercury moves into Aries, quick thinking, the day before we enter Aries season. The sun moves into Aries on the 20th. So actually Mercury, that shows you how fast Mercury moves. We've been in, Mercury's been in Pisces since the 2nd of March, 17 days. Boom, he's on to the next sign. So that just shows you how speedy of a planet Mercury is. And then coming into a fire sign, the cardinal fire sign can just give you that feel of how fast the mental energy, it's going to be like extra fast forward. When I was a kid, like high school, junior high, high school, people would tell me that whenever I would speak, it sounded like I was a tape player on fast forward. And that was definitely some feedback that I took. I know I can get that way some ways, sometimes, but that's like the subconscious, unconscious energy of Mercury in Aries. However, like you're able to process a little bit faster when that energy is available as well. Then the sun enters Aries on March 20th. We come into Aries season. It is the spring equinox. We start the zodiac cycle all over again. Just that breath of fresh air coming off of Pisces season. As dreamy and woo-woo and mystical and good-feely as Pisces season is, I don't know if it's just me or if it's like a whole thing, but that can get exhausting for me to be ungrounded. I'm a Taurus sun. I need that grounding. So when the sun enters Aries, it is go time. That is when the energies available to us are that of that rebirth, that time to start new things. Watching it's literally springtime. Like that's when the flowers start to bloom. That's when your manifestations start to show and bud. So if you've been working on a lot of stuff that is not coming to fruition, wait for the sun to enter Aries and just settle into that. Kay says, I'm definitely working on being more grounded because I love floating. And play with both. There's a time and a place for both. You don't need to be grounded all of the time. All right, and then 2 more transits before the end of the month. On the 23rd, and I know I'm going through this really fast, I'm going to talk about this again. On the 23rd, Pluto moves into Aquarius. This is the event that, as an astrologer, I have been waiting for years. And this is just like the preview. This is, like, Pluto is not fully in Aquarius, and let me explain. Pluto is going to enter Aquarius on the 23rd of this month. But then in June, he retrogrades, so he's going to back up, and he's going to go back into Capricorn and just tie up all of his loose ends. If my memory serves me correct, he enters Aquarius again early 2024, but then he retrogrades again into Capricorn. And then November of 2024, we are all systems go with Pluto and Capricorn, or Pluto and Aquarius, sorry. So March, April, May, half of June, actually end of March. So April and May, for the most part, will give you an idea of what's to come for the next 20 years, as far as Pluto in Aquarius. None of us were alive when Pluto was in Aquarius before, unless you're a time traveler, which if you are, your secret is safe with me. Pluto was in Aquarius the last time from 1778 to 1798. I don't pay attention to history because I personally think it's all made up. So it's hard to give a concrete example of what Pluto in Aquarius is. However, here's my intuitive astrological interpretation. Pluto is the planet of destruction, yet power. So how I see Pluto is whatever area of the zodiac he is digging up, moving past, he digs to the very bottom. Think Scorpio energy. Pluto rules Scorpio. Digging all the way down, exposing all of the roots, getting to the very bottom of the nasty stuff that we have buried deep. He opens that up. Okay, this is a 20-year transit. This isn't something that's going to happen on March 23rd. This is a work in progress. But Pluto dives all the way down, brings everything up to show us this is where the corruption is. This is where the malpractice is. This is where all of this is. And he's been doing this, you know, through all the rest of the signs. For the last 20 years, he was in Capricorn. He's been doing this act with government structures, top-down authority structures, so like the workforce kind of stuff, anything like a structure, a system, so like the healthcare system, the school system, the money system, all of our structures and things that hold us together. Pluto has dug it all up, shown his cards, and then Pluto throws away what doesn't work. What does work, he empowers it and he plants it back down. So Pluto in Aquarius, what the energies that we can maybe expect over the next 20 years, what does Aquarius rule? Technology. Digging up all the weird stuff that's been going on with technology, showing us. What just came to mind is like all that biometric data stuff. I don't know if you guys get emails every day about, hey, we're doing this settlement because this company used your data without your permission. That kind of stuff is happening left and right. Understanding the secrets behind technology, but then empowering the parts that are working. You know, it's not about throwing all of it out. It's about throwing out what does not serve the highest good of humanity. Aquarius rules humanity. It's the humanitarian sign. It wants the best for everybody. And then Aquarius also is, so in mundane astrology, that's the type of astrology that Pam Gregory reads, Aquarius represents the people. So Pluto in Aquarius, it's not going to be an easy journey, but guys, it's power to the people. Sovereignty is on the way, in my opinion. And again, astrology is, I still have that eyelash in my eye. Astrology is all about your choice. Free will is there. Every sign has a high expression and a low expression. When a planet comes in, I just saw this image of like it lights up the whole thing, and then you choose where you fall on that spectrum. You choose if you want to live the highest expression of that transit, or if you want to be somewhere in the middle, or if your shadow side, if your ego is drawing you down to the lower expression. It's all your choice. Lastly, on the 25th of March, Mars is finally leaving Gemini, entering Cancer. Mars has been in Gemini since August, and that is not normal. Mars normally moves through signs about every 2 months, but he entered Gemini, and then he retrograded, and then he went direct, and now he's finally almost done at the end of this month with his transit through Gemini. So Mars is our planet of power, action, drive, determination, where we get our oomph. It's where our oomph comes from. Gemini is the twins. So since August, and oh my gosh, I remember talking about this, and I remember getting really good feedback from you guys. Our energy has felt like, I want to go this way. Oh, just kidding, I'm going to go this way, but I could do this, but I want to do this, but I know I should do this. And it can be very back and forth, shifty energy. So that's been the last, that started in August. That's been the last, I don't know, what is that, 6 months? He's moving into Cancer on the 25th of March. Mars in Cancer is getting that drive from your emotions. Cancer is the cardinal water sign. I feel something, right? Cancer cardinal emotion. Cancer does something with their emotions. Mars in Cancer, when I feel emotional about something, you bet I'm going to act on that emotion, whatever it is. So that's just the energy to come with that. What else can I say about, because I want to get to cards too. Mars in Cancer. Mars is also, I want to sit with this for a second because there's more coming through. Oh, Mars can be our aggression style. The lower expression of Mars is like how we fight back. Cancer is very emotional. Cancer is the crab. So there might be, and this could be coming at you as well, but the crab has that mushy gushy inside that Cancer knows so well, you know? And I'm not just saying people who were born with the sun sign of Cancer, like this is the energy of Cancer, but that mushy gushy is inside, and you know, we understand it. But then we put up this hard exterior shell on the outside. So Mars in Cancer might come out in the lower expression as people like, it seems like they have no motivation, but it's because they've had that shell up and they're just like aggressively coming out with their emotions. So watch that you might not be doing the same. And that, you know, that's not for the next 2 weeks, so I'll talk more about that when we get to that time. But I hope that that gave you just a little feel for how much is shifting this March. It's just, there's just a lot moving around, which is your choice. It could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. And actually, if I have time, so Vicki and I just recorded a podcast 2 days ago because I keep talking about magical March, and she's like, why don't we do like a prediction episode? So we recorded a podcast with all of my March predictions. I went into a little bit more detail and I talked about the tarot cards that I've been pulling. And then at the end, like April, we're going to come back and do a recap. So that will hopefully be posted today. It's all edited. I just need to sit down and post it up to YouTube. If you want to listen to our podcast, which is wonderful, you can search my name on YouTube, Jacqui Mancuso. The podcast is being posted there for the time being, but I also want to shift you guys over to our podcast YouTube channel. Right now it's only on YouTube, but our podcast is called A Werewolf for You, but it's 444. So yeah, we just had an episode come out on Wednesday with Bob the Nomad. It's such a high, like, this man lives on another consciousness, and I love it. But yeah, so there's that. So follow me on YouTube. I have a playlist for the podcast, but then I also invite you to come on over to A Werewolf 444 You. But let's pull some cards. I was guided to go to the Star Codes Astro Oracle, and I'm going to leave this up as I read Kay's comment. I went on a massive vision quest for some personal transformation work I started a year ago this month. That's really interesting to start looking back over the shadow work and integration. Your rising sign is Cancer too. I love it. I love it, Kay. Bonnie loves this deck. Yeah, this is like becoming my, I want to call it like my right hand deck. I used to use Ask Your Guides all the time. I used to pull that thing out all the time. And now this, like, I reserve this deck for the right time, but this one just like makes the most sense to me. So, how are we asking today? Just what to keep in mind as we shift through all of this March energy, this magical March. What messages are we to keep in mind in order to walk us down our highest path as we walk through magical March? My computer's super, super slow. I think Bonnie knows the name of my podcast. Bonnie, could you type in the chat for us, A Werewolf 444 You, please? And we're getting more professional, you know. We've just been doing this for a couple months, but things are working themselves out, and I love that I have your support through all of this learning phase. So, feel free to send your energy into this deck. This is going to be a group reading, so your energy is needed. Your energy is important. Your energy has a place. Thank you, Kay. And let's see what our guides would like to tell us about using the energies of magical March. That was a flyer. So when I show you these cards, I'm going to show you the backs of the cards. So they will be the same image over and over and over. But I invite you to tune into your clair senses. We are all psychic. It is, our body is like a communication system. That's how our guides talk to us. They give us feelings. They give us physical feelings. They give us scents. They give us sounds. They give us ringing in our ears. So whatever feels right. If a card feels like if something happens to your physical body when I hold up a card, that could mean that that message is strong for you. Like your guides really want you to hear that message. The whole reading comes together. The whole reading is for all of us. But if you are drawn to one or two cards in particular, it's just a stronger part. It's just a more like is that the Mask or is that Beetlejuice? I think I'm thinking of Beetlejuice, where he has that like flashing, I don't know, I just saw like a flashing sign behind a card, like, look at this one. Like that's what your guides do if you have something coming up. And Christine is practicing claircognizance. Christine and Anique, they know, they just know that number 3 is for them. Anique, just because I know you. That's good. Jacqui, 1, it's weird because I rarely ever do 1 and the last 2 readings have called out for 1. Interesting. Things are changing. Hi, Cherry Berry, what my guides are telling me. What are my guides telling me? My lower belly aches since yesterday. Lower belly is sacral chakra. Creativity. Look into that in your life. Okay, yesterday was so full of synchronicities. I was attempting to write synchronicities. Yesterday I did this isn't like a no Jacqui moment, but not really. It's stupid. Yesterday morning I did a visualization meditation, and I teach part-time online. Yesterday I had 5 classes, and that's like the most, and that is so much for me. It drains my energy. So yesterday I was doing this visualization and I was like, you know what? I'm going to manifest absent students. And I was just going through the list, like seeing the student, nope, they're absent. Seeing the student, nope, they're absent. The first 4 were absent. And every time I was like, what? It was insane. It was crazy. It was nuts. Helen knows 2, Karen knows 2. All right, here's the back of the cards. They're all going to look the same, but intuition. Focus on your intuition. Here's the back of card number 1. Here's the back of card number 2. And here's the back of card number 3. I'll show them one more time, but let us know in the chat if any of those are resonating strongly with you. And just for reference as well, I think the most, like if I've had 5 classes, like 2 have been absent, and that's even like a good day. It was just strange. So interesting. All right, one more time. Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. Not nice, teacher. Hey, it's not my fault that the kids were sick or sleeping or whatever. The back of card number 3. All right, so Kim is working with 3. Renee is a combination of 2 and 3. I like that. The chat is easily refreshing for me. Julie, 2 and 3 for me too. Amanda's working with 1. Bonnie, 2, with a secondary message from 3. Charlotte's going from 2. Jacqui, my screen froze both times on card 1. I never saw it held up. Interesting. Samantha's working with 3. All right, guys. Card number 1. So we're at, what did we ask? I like to get clear on that. what we need to know through all of these energetic changes over the month of March. Samantha 3, Chandra 3, Cherryberry 1 and 3, Courtney 1, Adrian 2, Karen 2, AJ all 3 for me today. Beautiful. All right, guys, card number 1, Taurus, which we do have Venus moving into Taurus at the end of the month. K1, flying, the internal components of a giant clock shifting together. Janet's working with 2 and 3. All right, Taurus, the message is cultivate. Taurus asks you to hold still, dig in, grow roots, and strengthen over time. Manifest in a practical way. Signified by a bull standing in its field, Taurus rules the neck and voice. Its purpose is to bring life into matter through growing wildflowers and crops, through our muscular strength and the sensual potential of our bodies, and through the solidness of our material resources. Work with the metaphor of gardening. Plow the ground, plant the seeds, nurture the crops with water and fertilizer, and protect those crops from predation. Grow roots rather than travel. Investigate what concrete form your project should take and the next practical steps in that direction. Appreciate the senses. Notice what you see, smell, hear, feel, and taste. Use the senses to be in the present moment and let time flow by. Cuddle, feed. In a relationship, listen to both the signals of body chemistry and the practicalities of your life to give it a fertile field. Cultivate your garden. Like a slowly growing flower basking in the sun, find contentment in this moment. Explore the roots of the situation. Ask what feeds this idea or what feeds your soul. If you're feeling pushed about, sit, hold still, grow roots, and let the storm pass over you. Don't hurry. Play the long game as you plant and tend your crops. So the message that came through over and over in that card was plant your roots, stay still, nurture what you already have. If there's a situation in your life that you are thinking about jumping ship, if card 1 called out to you strongly, your guides want you to know, like, nope, this is not the time. It's time to ground down and work with what you have. Love what you have. Understand that whatever storm feels like it's passing over you right now is literally just that. It's a storm passing over you. The deeper you ground your roots, the more stable you will feel as the shitstorm goes on around you. Look at the mug I'm using today. I got my Taurus mug. I didn't even put that together. Reliable, artistic, and patient. So I love that. Artistic. What can you create with the nasty? Like, what can you transmute? How can you bring art? How can you alchemize? I mean, that's more Sagittarius, but like art, make art out of the poo. Make mud pies. Make mud pies. Oh, all right. Card number 2, okay, says too overshadowed. Don't miss the message because it's quiet. The energy of card 2, if this resonated with you guys, this brings us 10th house energy. And the key word for card number 2 is authority. If your chart were a village map, the 10th house would hold the courthouse, government seat, and the public face of your work. Here is the arena for your most public self, your relationship to authority figures, and your role as a leader. You are being asked to step up and take on the next level of personal authority. It's hard to build something without a clear blueprint. So look at your definition of a strong leader and decide whether you need to amend it. Remember how you felt as a kid about your parents, the school principal, priests, police, and teachers, and observe whether they used their responsibility wisely and encouraged you to develop yours, or whether you need to rebel to be safe. Notice your relationship to the concept of divine authority and investigate if it was something to be feared, ignored, or expanded. Did it offer you safety and refuge? These patterns affect both how you react to outside authority and what you expect from yourself as a parent, professional, or leader. Sort between the traits that worked and those not worth emulating. Wow. Deconstruct assumptions about authority that no longer serve you. Authority is no longer what other people carry. It is what you are developing within. Take responsibility for healing old wounds around empowerment and create new blueprints. If needed, tell off someone who used and abused their authority, either in person, in therapy, or in a letter you burn and release. Get the training and certification you need. Create a mental collage of good role models, people who lead in a way that empower others. Create a clear picture of competent, responsible, lovable, and empowering authority. Step into that role and be that pillar in your community and family with confidence. This one just feels so right, especially, wow, with Pluto leaving Capricorn. Capricorn is 10th house. Sorry, there was just a whole lot that just came up to my face right now, because this means a lot in this reading. So Pluto is leaving his 20-year reign in Capricorn. So Pluto has been exposing our authority and what we think of authority, how we view authority, how authority impacts itself on or impacts us in our lives. So this house is a reminder that just because we were led in a certain way, that doesn't mean that that's the only way to lead people. That doesn't mean that just because, how much trauma do we all have from authority figures in our childhood projecting their shadows onto us and telling us that we're bad people because we're living the way that they wish they could. Let that sink for a second. And what's the first thing that comes to mind? I'm feeling like religious authority telling you that you need to be afraid of every choice you make, otherwise you're a bad person and you're going to hell. I'm feeling school teacher, school principal, school dean authority telling you that you have to follow our rules and you have to be in this box or else you're going to get detention, you're going to be suspended, you're going to be expelled, all that kind of stuff. Man, for being a teacher myself, I was the most rebellious student in the world, and it didn't freaking matter. I still got the education I needed. In my senior year, guys, I think I had over 100 absences of periods, 100 class absences. Because I would just leave. I would just go home. I know what we're going to talk about in this class today. I don't need to be here. I do not like other people telling me what to do. I never have. And this card is reminding us that it's time to find that in yourself. Okay, and that might be my ego speaking, saying everyone needs to be like me. But the last freaking 3 years especially have been exposing a lot of authority versus sovereignty. Do I need to follow how the things have been taught to me, Or do I get to decide for myself and follow my spiritual authority? That's where it is. That's where intuition comes in. You feel that something is wrong, right? Something that you're being told to do doesn't feel right. So that's your choice. Do you follow blindly authority because you're a good, obedient person who follows the rules to not shake the boat? Or do you follow your divine authority that you know you're on your highest path, and as long as you're not hurting anyone intentionally, their emotions are their problem? This is a time for major change, Helen, and we all agreed to be here for it. Yes, we did. So in exercise, journaling came up a lot as I was reading this card. Renee also lines up with Saturn moving into Pisces. Yeah, Saturn leaving Aquarius. Saturn is a 10th house ruler. Saturn rules Capricorn. 10th house energy here. Yeah, leaving Aquarius because that's when we like wrap it all up. Spiritual authority. Holy moly. Saturn in Pisces. Pisces spiritual, Saturn authority. Like, how do we lean into our spiritual authority? My gosh. But journaling came up for that card. Like writing through the people in your life who, and sometimes when we just write it out and we make it concrete, Taurus, we make it concrete, we bring it into Earth, we can see it easier. But like, who are the authority figures in your life that led you in the wrong direction? Who are, like, an example is coming up about, like, someone told me once that their priest growing up said, animals don't have a soul. Animals are just a thing. Like, no, you cannot emotionally or spiritually connect with an animal. That's BS. And then throughout this person's life, they started to realize, well, that priest was 100% wrong, because this priest thinks that we can connect with animals, so, like, who's right? And in that situation, when you have two different stories, the only thing you can rely on is your spiritual authority. Wow, Saturn in Pisces. All right, and then let's see the last card that comes out. Let's see if there's anything. I agree, Charlotte. Christine, oh my God, this is speaking to me. I've had some interesting interactions with people in authority positions. I usually have trouble with my voice and was able to step up for my own power. Keep doing it. It is not selfish to stand up for yourself. Wow. That was a good one. All right, we have one final card. Card number 3 today is the Virgo card. Digest is the message. Symbolized by a woman and goddess holding a sheaf of wheat, the mutable earth sign, Virgo, is ruled by Mercury. Wheat can only feed the multitudes once the grain is sorted from the chaff. Virgo is connected to the nervous system and the intestinal tract, the job of which is to sort nutrients from waste. Oh my goodness, this is another Pluto card. Look for the grain and release the chaff. Weed, harvest, sort. Something in this situation needs to be sorted, edited, or reorganized in order to bring in its harvest, whether you're asking about a relationship, a work project, or the culture in which you work. Virgo wants you to be specific, sort, and release a habit, not a person, and change how you interact, not necessarily with whom you interact. Examine the situation for the patterns that need to be released and composted, and what seeds need to be saved for another time or planted for the next season. Rather than focusing on faults, appreciate what is valuable about each interaction, opportunity, and person. Truly absorb the worth and wonder and be healed thereby. It may take time to take an introspective break and work on your self-care routine. It may be time to take an introspective break. It may be time to take an introspective break and work on your self-care routine. Look at your diet and health habits to see what needs improvement. Absorb vitality. Yeah, this makes a whole lot of sense. This just seems to wrap it all up. So Virgo is the virgin, right? Bringing purity into the world, taking away the taintedness, having everything just beautiful and perfect and clean and fresh. Wow. Taurus tells us to sit with the situation. Don't move on. Like, there's something here that needs to be nurtured. Something, the garden, right? Tend to your garden. Yeah, Virgo is here to remind you that the garden has some weeds in it. You're going to need to dispose of some of the weeds. This card is very specific on saying it's not a person. So this isn't like if you're thinking about like leaving a partner right now and you're here for this reading is clearly saying, no, don't, it's not time. It's time to work on yourself. It's time to work through your own shit. It's time to work on your relationship with authority. It's time to weed out the self-limiting beliefs that you may have accumulated because of what authority figures have told you about yourself in the past, which is all their own shadow coming out through their words directed at you. So whenever someone in your life told you that you're not smart enough, you're not fast enough, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not whatever enough, that was a lie. Anytime anyone has ever told you that you're not blank enough, you don't have a good voice, you can't dance, stop trying, all of that was their own pain coming out at you because they hadn't processed it yet. Mercury and Venus are going to be strong for us this month, and Saturn, 10th house. Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. I would pay attention to where those are in your natal chart right now. Those might be the areas of your life that are calling for some attention. This was good. If you guys enjoyed today's session, if you'd like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, those are always appreciated. Never expected, you know, like if the money thing isn't for you right now, you can follow me on Insight Timer to show support. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search for my name, Jacqui Mancuso. Subscribe to me there so it'll give me some street cred, make it look like I know what I'm talking about. Interacting with like my YouTube videos. I post the replays of Insight Timer on YouTube. So if you want to support me and you don't want to give me money, whatever, like my videos, comment on them, just like play the internet algorithm game so that more people can find me and hear what I have to say, because I really like helping people. If you want to work with me one-on-one, additionally, my link tree is in my Insight Timer bio, so you can find all my information. I'm going to go back and read some of your comments, but I just want to throw it out there. Embody Astrology starts a week from today, and this is my first time ever doing something like this, and I am very stoked for it. So Embody Astrology is a Patreon community, so it's a monthly subscription, but it is a twice monthly, bi-weekly-ish. It's a group Zoom call. It's a roundtable discussion where we're all on video together. We all get to talk and like chat and ask questions and all this stuff. It's a community that I'm building, teaching how to embody the sun, pretty much. We're working only with sun this time around. So for each zodiac season that's coming up, we're going to have a meeting a couple days beforehand just to introduce this is what this upcoming zodiac season is all about. These are all the archetypes. I'm going to help you to understand and like feel intuitively what this sign is all about. Then I'm going to share some tips and tricks of how to bring that energy into your life, how to welcome the available zodiac energy so that you can flow in alignment with what's actually happening instead of trying to fight against it because we have to do it this way and I've been trained to do this and whatever. It's all about embodying what is happening right now. So that's on Patreon. Patreon link is in my link tree. And for March, this is something that just like crossed my mind the other day, and I am so excited to offer this. But everyone who signs up in March, so even if you join after the 17th when our first meeting is, whatever, I'm answering 3 of your most burning questions through looking at your natal chart. This is something that I've been finding out about myself. Like, I know that I love astrology, but I need a pointed question in order to do it best. So if you sign up in March for Embody Astrology, I'll reach out to you through email and then ask me, like, why does my life suck right now? Like, what do I do in this relationship? Why is my health off whack? Like, how can I get back to a place of abundance? Those pointed questions, it makes it so easy for me to just look at your chart and say, oh, this is here, this is here, this is here. So I'll record a video for you and like just let you know. And it's so, oh my gosh, I love it. It's so, it's a skill that I love using. And that's just like an added freebie if you join Embody Astrology. So yeah, it's, get on it. Helen says join so we can all be the Brady Bunch on Zoom. I love it. And who's the Brady Bunch logo is in the middle. Where's Alice? Part of me just wants to be Alice. Is she on the bottom? I think she's bottom middle. And then, oh, there's also a Discord group that goes along with it. So all of us Embody Astrology journeyers, I don't even know what to call us, but like we have a text group that we can share with each other. So thank you guys for the donations that are coming through. Julie, Jessica, I love it. I appreciate it very much. I want to read. Christine, thank you very much. Kay says, the blood of the coven is thicker than the water of the womb. I like it. All right, Anique says, I feel like the lie of card 2 are the weeds. Virgo says it's time to clear out. Yes. And where does it all live? In your Taurus garden. Thanks, Kay. Or thanks, Anique. Kay says, I'm literally working through a relationship that is probably one of the hardest I've ever been in, and I'm working to forgive and integrate all of the things that happened because we are coming together to give our son, your son, the best of both of us, even though our parents couldn't for us. Yes. It's a good time to, it's Pisces season, guys. It's time to get rid of your shadow, get rid of your limiting beliefs. And what's the first step to doing that is looking at them, to understanding them. Yeah, Helen, it's time to examine and get your own self together. Yeah. Time for pattern rearrangement. And Renee, we just had a Virgo full moon. I'm a Virgo moon in my natal chart. Emotions for you right now, Renee. Your needs, your basic needs are being washed. You don't need something anymore to feel peace. There's something that you thought you needed to be peace, and no, that was a lie. I've definitely been looking right in the face of some people that I would have previously been too scared to say the things I would to. It's very empowering. It's scary the first time, but once you do it once, you're like, oh, that's it. That's it. That's something that I do too. I overthink people's reactions. I think if I say something, you know that thing, we all have to do this. It can't just be me. You do that thing where like, you'll be washing the dishes or like doing something mindless. And then you literally play out a whole conversation in your head. Like, okay, I need to tell, I'm just making up a random example, but like, all right, I got to tell Paul that like, Paul's my husband. I gotta tell him that, like, I need more space. I need more alone time. All right, and then he's gonna take it personally, and he's gonna think, oh, I'm not good enough, and then how am I gonna counter that? How am I gonna come back? And, like, I'll do the whole 30-minute conversation in my head, and then you actually do the situation, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. And that's it. Like, you waste all that time imagining what you think might the reaction be from the other person, and it's, yeah, just flow with it. Just go with it. Helen, I love drinking coffee and being part of this tribe. Me too. I love it. Who says this? Christine, I'm excited to join, but bummed I'll miss the first meeting. I'll be on a plane. I know. I'm sorry. It'll all be on, all the replays will be there so you can join us, and it's just not meant for you to be there for whatever reason. You'll bring your joy the next time. Kay says, Bonnie, also another one that I came across is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. I think I need to know what Bonnie said, because that didn't hit me. Curiosity killed the cat. I don't like that saying. But satisfaction brought it back. I don't know. Charlotte? Oh, Charlotte's going to join up for Embody Astrology. Awesome. This is one of those things that I have no idea what to expect, but I'm just gung-ho about it. And this is how I am meant to be. I'm learning so much about myself in lots of ways, like human design ways and also shadow work ways, and it's just like things are lining up because I'm acting in the way that I want to act. I'm no longer acting in the way that I've been taught to act, because that's what worked best for the people who taught me. That's not what works best for me. And it's not selfish to know how you operate. It is selfless to know how you operate and to choose to operate in the way that works best for you. Because if I were to continue to be a people pleaser, and I were to continue to have a safety net and worry about money and worry about how other people perceive me like I was taught to do, if I were to act in that way, I would not be serving as I'm serving. Like, I bring beauty into this life because of the way that I know I'm supposed to operate. Like, it's been a whole thing. It's been a whole journey, and it's always ongoing, but I'm trying to give you guys the freedom that I am finding in myself. Oh no, Bonnie's gonna miss the first meeting because I will be on a plane. Oh, where are you guys going? That was not when I was supposed to leave, but recent events made me change my time to go on the plane, so it is a bummer. You know, that's all right. That's all right. No, I was thinking about changing the time, but no, I'm sorry. It's time to plant. It's time to grow my roots. Everything happens for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but this has been great. I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. I appreciate all of you being here. You're going to Boston. I said, I think I'm going to Boston. I think I'm starting a new life. I think that came out in like the early 2000s. I don't know who it is, but I wonder if that song resonates with you now, Bonnie. And Christine's going to California. You guys are going in opposite directions. What was I going to say? Yeah. Charlotte says, interesting times ahead for me. I'm with you, Jackie. It's time for my transmission into the real me. Just not sure how hubby and Gina react. And, you know, this is exactly like what I was talking about, like washing the dishes and having these full conversations in my head about how I think this will play out and how I think this will play out. The more you go through your pros and cons list, the more you weigh your options, the more you worry about other people's reactions, you're not changing the outcome at all. You're doing nothing to impact the outcome. All you're doing is stealing today's joy. I know it's difficult. It's a thing it's a process of unlearning. But just trust. If you're feeling urged to do something, that's your higher self. And what does your higher self want? is for you to evolve and for you to become the best version of yourself. Your higher self only wants what's best for you. And sometimes what's best for you involves sometimes a conflict. You know, it doesn't mean that, you know, they're going to reject you necessarily. You know, that might happen, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows if you will be a source of inspiration for them to speak up regarding their truth? What if they need an example for someone to show them, oh, this is how you stand up for what you believe in. Huh, if she can do it, maybe I can do it. Okay, the only person that can abandon you is you. You're welcome, Charlotte. I call myself your favorite spiritual problem solver for a reason. And it's not just, yeah, I don't. You guys bring a lot of energy to these meetings as well. Like, I couldn't do what I'm doing if it weren't for you guys being here and, like, stirring the pot, but in a good way, you know? I love stirring the pot. However, ground yourself down in whatever situation you are in. Your perception of authority may be off skew. Your perception of how you think a leader needs to be may be out of whack. I invite you to explore some of your authority shadows. Who told you you need to do XYZ because I'm in control kind of thing? Like, I'm the parent, just do what I say. Maybe journal about that and explore what is real and what isn't. Explore where maybe people could be leading you astray because of their unconscious shadows. Weed it away. Forgiveness is a big thing too. I really enjoy writing letters and then not doing anything with them. You can burn them. I don't know why. So just a quick story, because I gotta go. I'm getting my hair done today. I lost my father in 2015, and before he passed away, we completely cut ties, and it was my choice. And there was so much guilt and shame and shadow stuff that I went through over the years after he died. But the thing that helped me the most, honestly, was writing him a letter of forgiveness. It took me everything I was so immature at that time. I love reflecting on how much of a brat I was, but it took everything in my being to sit down, because I knew it was the best thing to do. I knew that I needed to give something up to move on and to process that he's gone. And so I sat down in a notebook. I still have the notebook, and I wrote him a letter of forgiveness. And the reason I guess my higher self told me not to burn it, because like you can burn it to transmute the energy, to get rid of it. But I knew it wasn't a conscious knowing, it was a soul knowing. I knew that was a monumental step for me to say, like, okay, even though, I have all this anger and resentment towards you, I forgive you. And oh my God, that was like the best thing I could have done at that time. That turned the page on my grieving. I was able to actually move through the grief process instead of holding on to that resentment for a long time. But I still have that letter. And I don't know, once a year maybe I'll just happen to stumble across the notebook and I read the letter, and I'm so grateful for myself showing compassion in that moment. And it helps me remember that that's how I want to lead my life. I want to forgive and just let things go. It's okay to process through hurt feelings. Holding on to hurt feelings is selfish. Holding on to resentment is selfish. You're not giving that person a chance to clear their name. That was a light bulb. Okay. Anik, this is a great tool. I used to write breakup letters and not send. They were for me after all. Yeah, just whatever your intuition's telling you to do. Christine, I'm getting my hair done and have to leave too. Love it. All right, Javier, I have a lot of letters to write then. You know, my gosh, okay, my family also went through, I have a lot of AA members in my family. 12-step processes, really familiar with them. Making amends is huge. It's huge. You're not really forgiving the other person. I mean, like, you are forgiving the other person, but it's for you. Have a beautiful day, Christine. Holding on also hurts you. Yeah, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to be hurt.